Well, welcome back to another video. It's been a couple of weeks since I did another movie review. Um, I've had to deal with some personal things, and I wasn't able to get into a video. I was going to do one on the 19th of June, and then I was going to follow that up with the following week, but sometimes life gets in the way, and you got to deal with that first. But in the meantime, I wanted to do a review of Night of the Living Dead. Now, this is the 30th anniversary edition. I do have the original Night of the Living Dead. I do. I would like to get the 50th anniversary one of these days. But in the Night of the Living Dead 30th anniversary, it's basically the producer, one of the producers, and one of the zombie extras in the film, John Russo, re-added some scenes for this 30th anniversary. He's got some of his children that are in the movie, and Russell Streiner. A couple of his kids are in there as well, and it's got a lot of stuff on here. It's over 15 minutes of new scenes. It's original 90-minute edit with all new material, musical, behind-the-scenes featurette, theatrical trailer, still gallery, auto commentary, Dance of the Dead music video. Now, the one thing that I found that was pretty cool that they had inside is they have like a little booklet here that came with it, and it's got the Night of the Living Dead and then the 30th anniversary, both different chapters, and then in the book it's got a little behind the scenes, talking with the people that the added scenes for the movie. A lot of people didn't care too much for this movie when it came out, and probably still don't care much for it today. I didn't really particularly bother me that much when I originally saw it in 1998. But it's Night of the Living Dead as a whole. The film is a classic in all respects of the horror genre, the zombie genre, and what led George A. Romero to be known as one of the top horror zombie directors. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2017. A lot of the actors that have played in this have passed on too. The main character, Dwayne Jones, he passed away. Carl Hardman passed away. What was the one guy's name? Keith Wayne has passed away. And I think Judith O'Dea, who played Barbara, and Russell Streiner, who played her brother in that, they're both still alive. Judith Riley's still alive, that played Keith Wayne's character's girlfriend in the movie. But Dwayne Jones was a well-known African American actor. Definitely became more well-known as being in this film and in other films that he did prior to his death. And the big political thing with having an African American as a lead actor in a film from 1968 was not to me, would not be in a big thing, even though I wasn't born until '76. But I think it led more, regardless of him being an African American or whatever. I think he did a great performance, and it doesn't matter being whatever race or color he is. He was a great actor. Definitely led to great performances from him in the rest of his career. It led to a more cult classicness of the film because of his performance and his character and the way Dwayne Jones played it and the way as a person that he is. He definitely made his performance. Judith O'Dea was a great Barbara, and the whole cast did a great performance in the whole film. George Romero had a small part in it as a newscaster, and it's really great that all the things that he had to deal with back in '68, because you think about it, that's 52 years ago, and they didn't have all the CGI that they have now, where they can make zombies like appear in the background or all the blood and stuff like that. So for 1968, it was a really great movie. I highly recommend it if anybody hasn't seen this movie. Being that it's 52 years old, I don't know if there's anybody who has not seen this movie. I give it a definite 9 on the Richter scale, and I would give it a 10 as a cult classic film of the horror genre that led into all the horror films in the 70s into the 80s and so on, and the great beginnings of the zombie genre, even though there was some zombies films before that. but mainly they were voodoo. Voodoo. There was dealing with voodoo and people come back from the grave, and that this was just basically zombies, which led into a lot of the Italian films in the late 70s and early 80s. Now, the first time I ever saw Night of the Living Dead, it was right around the time of its 25th anniversary. Now, the 25th anniversary had been 1993. I had seen the original Night of the Living Dead in 1991, so we're talking 29 years ago was when I originally saw Night of the Living Dead. But I didn't buy the movie until 1993. They came with it was a VHS. I think it was from Good Times or some other company. They came with a double pack where you bought the movie on VHS and you got the 25th anniversary reunion, which basically a lot of the people behind the scenes, the director and the writer and restaurateur, and a couple other people, were all sitting around the table talking about it. I had that tape for many years, and I eventually pawned it off, which was stupid of me because I guess I should have kept it because I realized that there's Night of the Living Dead. But being as a horror fan for almost 35 years, I mean, I guess I could have kept it, but at the time I needed some money. Anyway, but beside all that, the first time I saw Night of the Living Dead was in 1991, and I have never, at that point in time, I was 15, so I liked a lot of horror movies, but at that time, Night of the Living Dead was not in my top 10, and it was definitely in my top 25. But as the years gone by, I've put Night of the Living Dead up in the top 10, just because of the cult status of it. As you get older, certain it's like when you get older, when you eat something, you like it, and then when you're younger, you didn't like it. So it's basically how that goes. I liked the film, but as I got older, I definitely put it up higher on the list. Now there's not a lot of blood in the movie. There's a couple scenes in the movie where you see some of the zombies eating like bugs and chewing on what looks like raw meat. But in being black and white, it's kind of hard to see the blood. So that, and in all respects, being in black and white is actually the true version of watching this film. Now I know they did a colorized version of this film. I've never seen a colorized version of Night of the Living Dead. I take that back. I did see the first 10 minutes of the colorized version of Night of the Living Dead, but I never watched the whole film. And the only reason I didn't watch the whole film is because I liked it better when it was black and white. Certain films are definitely worth keeping to the original as far as the aspect ratio or the type of film, whether it be black and white or colored. That's the way that's how I think. And the writing of George Romero, and it's just amazing that George Romero went on to do five other Living Dead films. My favorite of the 5 films is Dawn of the Dead from 1978, which was actually released in '79. And yeah, so you had John Russo. He's done some movies by himself. He was behind the scenes of a movie called Midnight. He helped on The Booby Hatch. He also helped on a movie called The Majorettes, which was a 1987 horror film that he was involved in. Russ Strider was also in that. And one of the most classic scenes of Night of the Living Dead, everybody knows this scene, where Johnny is walking through the graveyard with his sister, and they're going to visit their mother, and he goes, "They're coming to get you, Barbara." That's just a classic scene that can be on. It's an iconic scene that's been through generations and generations. That when you hear somebody say, you think of Night of the Living Dead, you think of "They're coming to get you, Barbara." It's just certain things in certain movies pertain to like history and of this horror genre and movies in general, and that's one of them. There's a couple other ones, but basically this review is Night of the Living Dead. And like I said, the 30th anniversary is okay for what it is. It does have action scenes, new scenes. Like I've said, 15 minutes of new scenes, especially like the beginning after, or actually it's before the one zombie comes up out of and walks towards Johnny and bites him. That was actually Russ Strider. Or not Russ Strider, sorry. That was, what was his name? Bill Heinzman, the late Bill Heinzman, he was the cemetery zombie. Now they cut to the beginning of the movie. They show him as to be in order because this is the 30th anniversary, '98, and then they cut to when the original film where he had from 1968. So you can see a little bit of a difference as far as him being older, and then he was younger. But if you can look past that, I mean, it is okay for what it is. I still, in my mind, still believe that Night of the Living Dead is and always will be the most classic horror film in the horror genre. Now, people may argue with being The Exorcist or being Halloween or even Psycho. But for me, honest opinion, Night of the Living Dead is the quintessential horror film of the horror genre. Now, it's not my personal favorite, but it is definitely the one that led me into the zombie genre. I can at least say that. Probably can say that for other people as well. Well, anyway, I've rambled on long enough, but Night of the Living Dead, if you have, like I said before, if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. I'm not sure there's anybody who has not seen Night of the Living Dead, my Richter scale is definitely 9. Cult status is definitely 10. Would I recommend it to anybody that likes horror films? Yes. Anybody that likes zombie films? Yes. Anybody that likes black and white films? Yes. There's not much more I can say about it other than I'm just sorry that it took me so long to do another review. Now, hopefully, I can do another review of a film following next Friday. We'll have to see how everything goes. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for the 343 subscribers. Thanks for all the comments that's been said. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video.